The photo world is about to absolutely explode, and Nikon is holding the match. For 6 long, painful years, Nikon shooters have been left out in the cold. You have been staring at your Z7 II, watching the calendar flip, and feeling like a completely forgotten child. While Sony and Canon fans have been feasting on insane AI autofocus and lightning-fast stack sensors, Nikon gave you nothing but crumbs and minor firmware updates. The silence from Nikon headquarters has been absolutely deafening. But right now, the crickets have finally stopped chirping. The leaks have officially turned into a massive, unstoppable flood. The Nikon Z7 III is real. It finally has a rumored price tag, and the specs are designed to throw a heavy, devastating punch straight at the competition. But we have to ask the ultimate question. Is it a little too late? The competition hasn't just been standing in the ring with Nikon. Sony and Canon have been winning by a brutal technical knockout for 2 straight years. Today, we are breaking down every single leak, every internal whisper, and every supply chain secret to see if Nikon is truly back in the game. Are they making a legendary comeback? Or are they just arriving at a party that ended at midnight? Let's be real for a second, because the timeline here is honestly painful. If you are a Nikon shooter, you have earned the exact right to be a little salty. The original Z7 dropped way back in 2018. It was a bold start for their full-frame mirrorless journey, but it was plagued by the single card slot controversy that drove creators crazy. The Z7 II followed in 2020, which fixed the storage drama by adding a second slot, but it kept the exact same slow internal soul and processing speeds. Since then, it has been total, agonizing radio silence for the high-res community. For 6 long years, Nikon has been completely hyper-focused on the Z8 and the flagship Z9. We get it, because those are incredible machines. They are the sports, speed, and cinema giants that completely put Nikon back on the mirrorless map and proved they could build elite, top-tier tech. But in that frantic process to beat Sony in the speed category, Nikon seemingly forgot about the exact people who built their reputation in the first place. They forgot the hardcore landscape photographers who hike mountains for a single shot. They forgot the meticulous studio artists and the high-end portrait pros who demand every single pixel to be perfect. While Nikon was busy perfecting the Z9, Sony capitalized on the delay and released the powerful A7R V and the dominant A7R VI. Canon dropped the R5 and the stunning R5 Mark II. Even Fujifilm managed to update their medium-format monsters twice, stealing away landscape photographers who got tired of waiting. Nikon hasn't just been late to their own party. They have been dangerously, almost fatally late. But according to the latest supply chain whispers and factory orders, the painful wait finally ends in the autumn of 2026. Let's talk about the money, because this is where the Nikon value myth either lives or dies on arrival. The rumored price for the Z7 III is currently sitting right between $3,000 and $3,500. For context, the rival Sony a7R VI is chilling comfortably at $3,500. Meanwhile, the Canon R5 II demands a steep, premium investment of $3,900. If Nikon can actually hit that absolute sweet spot of $3,299, they become the value king overnight. They absolutely need to undercut Sony by at least $200 to convince on-the-fence photographers to stay. In a world where global inflation has turned mid-range cameras into crazy, unattainable luxury items, that small price gap is the only thing that will stop a loyal Nikon user from glancing at a Sony catalog. If they push past $3,500, they aren't just in trouble. They will become completely invisible to consumers. People do not wait 6 long years just to pay a premium price tag for hardware that feels like a catch-up project. Nikon needs to prove to the world that brand loyalty has an actual financial reward. Now, let's get right into the guts of this machine, because the leaked specs are where the real story hides. We are looking at a brand new, groundbreaking 61-megapixel stacked BSI sensor. Stacked is the absolute magic word here. If you don't know why that matters for your photography, listen very closely. The old Z7 and Z7 II sensors were undeniably beautiful, but they were incredibly slow. They had terrible, sluggish rolling shutter issues that made the electronic shutter almost entirely useless for anything moving faster than a turtle. A stacked sensor completely changes the entire mathematical processing of the camera. It means lightning-fast readout speeds, zero distortion in your electronic shutter, and a massive boost to autofocus calculations per second. On top of that raw speed, you are looking at gorgeous 8K video at 60p and 4K video at a buttery smooth 120p. This is the exact hybrid powerhouse Nikon should have. Released 3 years ago, it finally matches and exceeds the Sony and Canon benchmarks, giving landscape and wildlife pros the elite slow-motion tools they have been begging for. Under the hood, the Z7 III is rumored to make a massive technological leap and jump straight to the Expeed 8 processor. This is a massive, unexpected curveball because the flagship Z9 is still running on the older Expeed 7 architecture. Jumping a full digital generation ahead means the Z7 III will have way more processing headroom than the most expensive flagship camera Nikon sells today. This brand new digital brain brings advanced AI-powered autofocus to the table. We are talking about real-time tracking for birds, cars, planes, and even tiny insects that actually stays locked on regardless of harsh lighting or chaotic backgrounds. It is also highly expected to handle revolutionary in-camera AI noise reduction. Imagine shooting at a brutally high ISO of 6400 in low light and getting a clean file that looks like it was shot at a pristine ISO 400, simply because the internal processor cleaned it up beautifully before the raw data even hit your memory card. The body itself is expected to look and feel like a mini Z8. You get that deep, secure professional grip and all the tactile, weather-sealed buttons you love, but in a much lighter frame. For the dedicated landscape shooters who hike 10 miles into the wilderness for one perfect sunset shot, every single gram saved is an absolute blessing. But here is the cold, hard truth that most fanboy channels will never tell you because they want to protect their brand relationships. Specs on a piece of paper do not mean a single thing if the real-world execution fails in the field. Nikon has 3 massive hurdles to clear with this launch if they want to survive. First is the absolute autofocus reliability. Sony is still the undisputed king of sticky autofocus. When a Sony camera locks onto a subject's eye, it acts like it is permanently glued there. Canon is a very close second place with their dual pixel tech. Nikon is currently sitting in a respectable third place, but respectable does not win gold medals or secure professional contracts. If the Z7 III still hunts for focus in low-light wedding venues or loses a subject behind a single blade of grass, it is an instant deal-breaker for working pros. The second problem is the current lens ecosystem. Nikon's S-line lenses are optical masterpieces, and they are arguably the best glass in the world right now, but they are incredibly heavy and they are wildly expensive. When a Sony 50mm f/1.2 is hundreds of grams lighter than the Nikon equivalent, professional wedding photographers notice that painful difference by the end of a long, exhausting 12-hour day. Plus, Nikon is still very protective of their proprietary lens mount. While Sony users enjoy a giant, competitive buffet of affordable lenses from Sigma, Tamron, and Samyang, Nikon users are often forced to pay the heavy first-party price tax. The third problem is pure market timing. By the time this camera actually hits the store shelves in late 2026, the Sony a7R VI will have already been on the market for over a year. Sony can easily slash their price by $300 on Black Friday, and suddenly Nikon's entire value argument completely evaporates into thin air. Nikon is playing defense in a game where they used to set the rules. Right now, they are clearing out old Z7 II stock with massive, desperate discounts. This is the clearest sign that the true successor is right around the corner. They need to completely flush the global warehouses before they can announce the new king. It is a smart business move, but it is a highly frustrating one for the loyal fans who have been holding on to their 2020 gear while the rest of the photography world moved fast into the future. So, what is my honest opinion on this camera? The Nikon Z7 III looks like a true masterpiece of engineering that is sadly arriving a day late and $1 short. If you are already deep in the Nikon ecosystem, if your gear closet is completely full of expensive Z-mount glass, and you absolutely love the way a heavy Nikon body feels in your hand, this is the exact dream upgrade you have been waiting for. It is the perfect tool for ultra-high resolution stills, massive gallery prints, and aggressive cropping capabilities. It completely fixes every single major complaint we ever had about the sluggish Z7 II. But if you are a working professional who needs a brand new camera today to put food on the table, you simply cannot afford to wait for maybe rumors and soon. You should buy the Sony or the Canon right now, and you should not look back. Nikon is not trying to win over brand new converts with this camera. They are simply trying to stop the bleeding and keep their most loyal fans from jumping ship to rival brands. It is a retention camera, not a conquest camera. Nikon has spent 6 years perfecting this design, and while they were working in secret, the entire world changed around them. High resolution is no longer the magic novelty it used to be. Today, modern photographers want extreme speed, we want advanced AI integration, and we want flawless, unshakable reliability. The Z7 III seems to have all of that, but it carries the heavy, crushing burden of 6 years of massive expectations. If this camera does not absolutely floor the tech reviewers on day one, it might be the last high-res dedicated body we see for a very long time as the Z8 continues to swallow up that market share. If you liked the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. When the official announcement finally drops from Nikon, I will be right here with a full spec breakdown within 24 hours to tell you if the leaks were right or if Nikon pulled a fast one on us. So, are you still Team Nikon and waiting it out? Or have you already switched to the competition? Let me know your story in the comments below. I read every single one. Thanks for watching, and remember, the best camera in the world is the one you have in your hand right now, not the one you are waiting for in a rumor mill. Go shoot something amazing.